It was a cold Thanksgiving day about 25 years ago. It was late. I was tired. It was already getting dark out, and now, after all I had done today, I had to take the bus home. Holiday schedule, buses running late. The car was home. It ran, but we needed to save the gas. Funny thing, I had left for work this morning when it was still dark. The 45-minute ride to the hotel where I worked seemed like forever because I already knew what kind of a day I was in for. As the assistant executive steward, I had the responsibility of making sure that every piece of china, glassware, and silverware was ready for the big Thanksgiving Day buffet. Early in the morning, make sure everything is sparkling, in place, set up on the tables. Early morning to mid-morning, ensure all food was delivered from the kitchens to the ballrooms. Brew coffee, slice lemons, plate pies, get ice. Would it ever stop? 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Replenish, refresh. Monitor cleanliness of the tables. Wash dishes. Wash more dishes. Wash utensils and glassware. Send them back out into the dining room. Wash them again and again. Would it ever stop? Our guests were paying big bucks to enjoy everything from shrimp to seafood, turkey, pork, chicken, potatoes, salads of all kinds, cranberry sauce, squash, pastries, fresh fruit, champagne, and hundreds of delicacies. At least somebody would enjoy Thanksgiving. 6 p.m. The chefs have long since gone. The banquet manager and the captains are checking the waiters out. The waiters are checking out their tips. Me and my crew were washing more dishes, putting them away, cleaning up the kitchen, and emptying trash. If we hustled, most of my crew could get out by 9 o'clock. What we didn't get done, we would do sometime this weekend. Do you have any idea how many dirty dishes that more than 2,000 people generate? And you thought washing dishes for your family after the holiday meal was a lot. My poor wife. After I explained to her that I had to work on Thanksgiving Day, she almost cried. She had scrimped pennies for the whole month, saving enough to buy a turkey bird. We didn't have much. With the little one on the way and living in a rented house that pretty much had cardboard for walls, she had at least wanted me home for Thanksgiving. I told her I was sorry. My boss had to say so. He would take the holiday off, and we would just have to celebrate on Friday instead of Thursday. Isn't it funny? I had been around food all day and I wasn't even hungry. Just cold, tired, upset, worried, angry, and waiting for a bus that would take me home. The bus's headlights came around the corner. I stepped out from the bus stop overhang and had my fare in my hand. Damn, wrong bus. Could anything else go wrong today? I had fully another 15 minutes in the cold to think about the football games I had missed, the Macy's parade that I had religiously watched with my small family the last 5 years. It was almost getting to be a tradition, with Santa Claus pulling up the rear of the parade and ringing in the Christmas season. Always a delight for the kids. Well, better not think about that. Christmas is only a month away. Barely had enough for the bus this week. Now where is that going to come from? I shivered as I boarded the bus. Only two other passengers on the bus. Just a habit, I guess, but I sat almost towards the front. There, sitting on the bench that folds up for the impaired, right behind the driver, was a raggedy young man. Across from him sat an elderly, silver-haired woman, the face of a saint. The man hadn't had a bath in a couple of days, or a shave. He had a battered-up suitcase with him, though. One was half of a handle and bumper stickers from a dozen cities from around the country. At first, nothing seemed amiss. Then I heard him speak to the bus driver and to the other passenger. He said, "Where do I get off to get a transfer to the Forest Park area?" The lady hardly seemed amused and looked at him coldly. It caught my attention because I knew he had already passed his stop. The bus driver explained to the young man that he had missed his connection. He said, "Oh, I see." And then he went on to say, "I'm from out of town and I came to visit my sister. She lives close to Forest Park." I pulled my ears out from behind my one luxury, a portable CD player with headphones, and pretended not to listen. "She really is expecting me. She lives in a nice house. I peeped forward a little and felt something wasn't quite right. Lord knows I wasn't dressed for success at the time, but at least I had an excuse. I had been stuck behind mops and trash cans and a hissing, steamy dish machine for the last 10 hours. I had a reason to be dirty, and besides, my clothes had been clean when I put them on this morning. Forest Park area? Isn't that where some of the more affluent people live? The lady sniffed, pulled the cord for the next stop. The driver stopped, she got off. She shuffled off without saying a word or looking back. For a few uncomfortable moments, the bus rolled down the road quietly. Then the young man pulled his suitcase up on his lap and opened it. I was awestruck by its contents. A dog-eared Popular Mechanics magazine, an obviously beat-up camping pot and pan and utensils, an Elvis record, yeah, a record, an actual LP, a washcloth, he caught me looking. He looked at me with eyes clear and honest. Hey, mister, want to buy something cool, he said. I feigned interest. No, he wasn't intoxicated, and no, I didn't feel he was mentally unstable. Well, he could have been, because this time of night you just can't never tell who's riding the bus. As he scooted things around in his suitcase and pulled out something saying, look, I'm willing to part with it for only $5. It's worth a lot more, but I'm quite sure my sister already has one. You know those bottle candles that you see at garage sales, the ones that belong to a teenager in her room? You know, the ones that sort of look like a Coke bottle with string wrapped and glued around it, and then you stick a candle in the top and let the wax drip down the side? He held it up for me to see. It was purple and green, and had obviously been used. I told him I was sorry, but that I couldn't help him. It was then that it hit me. He wasn't from out of town. He wasn't going to see his sister in Forest Park. And those items in his suitcase were all of his worldly possessions. He looked at me and didn't seem at all surprised I had refused his offer. He carefully put the candle back in the suitcase and closed the lid. He put the suitcase down on the floor. Then he pulled up the bottom part of his extra long, extra holy, extra dirty shirt up closer to his chin, sort of leaned back and closed his eyes. Within seconds, he pretended to nod asleep. You talk about a wake-up call. My heart began pounding as I realized the end of the bus line was only about 5 minutes past my stop. It was cold outside, and he would have to get off the bus whether he was asleep or not. Within seconds, my whole attitude changed. Today was Thanksgiving, and I had to work. Thank goodness I had a job. Thanksgiving, and I missed watching TV with my wife and kids. Thank goodness I had a TV to watch and a wife that loved me. And thank goodness for my kids. I mean, what would I do without them? And thank goodness I had a car with a little gas. And thank goodness I was headed home. I could hardly begin to realize the meaning of Thanksgiving. My stop was coming up soon. What could I do? Offer him shelter for the night? Not hardly. Offer him a meal? No, silly, you don't have dinner at your home. Your wife is cooking tomorrow, remember? I couldn't stop myself. As if it had a mind of its own, my hand crept around to my back pocket and I took out the last $3 I had in my wallet. The last $3 I would have until Monday payday. I rang the bell to get off and I stood up. I made my way to the front doorway of the bus. I wished the bus driver a happy Thanksgiving and as quietly and as unobtrusively as I could, slipped the $3 just inside the suitcase handle. What was I thinking? How would I get to work Saturday? How would I get home from work on Saturday? How would I get to work on Monday? Those were my last $3. I thought that for a second I saw his eyelids flutter. Was he really asleep or was he just pretending? The door opened and I turned to look back just one more time before I stepped off the bus to start my block walk home. There were tears rolling down his cheek. Minutes later, I stepped through the door. My wife threw her arms around me and smooshed me on the neck. Honey, she said, honey, you wouldn't believe what happened. You just missed the patriarch. He left us an envelope and a box. He said it was a special box. It was a box for the ages, a box of hope. Here, look. I opened the envelope to find $25 cash inside and a note from the Centuries wishing us a belated happy Thanksgiving. And inside the box was a frozen turkey, some canned yams, some instant potatoes, some stuffing mix, a bottle of cranberry sauce, and a bottle of gravy. And one more thing. At the bottom of the box, there was this used, purple and green, string-wrapped Coke bottle candle.